All right, good to see you, Harry. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, my brother. It's good to be back with you, man. You know I enjoy doing this.
Man, listen, just appreciate all the work you've done for us over the years, man. I know we both always running around and doing different things. It sounds like you already had a pretty busy morning yourself. I'm over here. You're probably wondering where I'm sitting. I'm over at the Atlanta Athletic Club golf course. I got to speak to the Johns Creek Rotary at noon. So just multitasking. I'm sure you've done some interviews already this morning, and just super impressed with what you've been able to do post your career, man. So hats off to you.
Nah, thank you. It means a lot. It does.
Definitely. So definitely. I was sitting here thinking about how'd you originally get connected to us? I know you've been with us for a few years now. What was the original connection? Do you remember?
Yes, I do. It was Miss Angela Blank. She got
Okay.
me involved. I remember when we did the first fashion play that was at Saks Fifth Avenue at Phipps Plaza. I remember she asked me to be a part of it and be a model and whatnot. And after that, and seeing how amazing that was and how that turnout was, I became an honorary big. And just growing up and my dad being a coach and seeing how many young men needed a father figure in their life or just somebody, period. It could be a woman figure, somebody to believe in them and give them insight on the ins and outs of this game that we call life. I realized how important it was. So for me to be an honorary big is a blessing to me because not only do you get to help out younger kids and do things and do events like this, but you also get to share knowledge that I've been on through my path to people and let them know that I've seen a lot of people play a professional sport, a lot of people that's in the media ranks right now, which is my second career, start out like them, but that doesn't mean that's where they have to stay. So being able to share those messages and let them know that they can hit me up anytime, they can call me anytime, they can send me social media messages. I'm going to reply. Let them know I'm going to be there for them any moments that they may need me is important to my life and theirs as well.
No, definitely. And I'm glad Angie, connected us to you. Angie's been on our board and done amazing things. Just the whole Arthur Blank family and the foundation have been just a great support and the team of us. You mentioned coaches. I think coaches are overlooked in society because they are real mentors doing the work. And you think about like high school, middle school coaches, little league coaches, and they just play a major role. So I want to do a shout out. You mentioned your father was a coach, just to all the coaches, because they play a huge role in society and they're overlooked a lot of times. And it's really all about mentorship. That's why we're doing this fashion play event. It's fun. We're gonna be on the runway and having a good time, but it's really about uplifting the power of mentorship and giving our littles exposure to that and having
That's
some
right.
fun. So, tell me, about, maybe a mentor that's played a big role in your life or in your career as you walk through life. Who is one person that stands out to you?
Well, I'm gonna pick a few because I was blessed enough to have both of my parents, and those are the first two people I'm gonna choose. But not everybody is blessed to have both parents in their life. But for me, it's not like we grew up with money. But like I said, my dad was a coach. He mentored a lot of young people that went on to do great things, and even still today, they reach back out to him, and they're a part of my foundation and come back and help because of the things that he meant. But my father, man, being there, showing me the ropes, how to become a man, how to do things the right way. Him and my mother providing that structure and that balance in our lives. And it's funny because when you grow up and you're little and you're going through these teenage years, you listen, but you're like, but the older you get, like when I got to a certain level in college, I started implementing a lot of things that my parents taught me early on into my everyday life. And now that I'm grown, I have my own family. I do the same things, but they were that much of a I'll say icons in my life, and I don't use icon loosely. I'm using it with a purpose. My mother taught very Christian. Like both my parents are very Christian. Like, but my mother, um, she doesn't let negative things affect her. I learned how to do that from her. Turn every negative into positive. She sent me scriptures every single day, right? But just that them showing me what it is to be a family and having that structure and balance, it meant a lot to my life. And they're key pieces in my life today. When I was playing football, they do a lot of my business stuff. and control a lot of my properties that I may own. And they've just been there for me every day. They help with my kids. So that's a blessing. Number two person I would name is my coach that just passed away. I just went to his funeral a few months ago down in Mississippi, but his name is Arlen Badier. And honestly, I wouldn't even play football if it wasn't Coach Badier. I wouldn't have played football in high school. My best sports was baseball and basketball. But I was talking to my high school basketball coach the other day, and he was telling me how Coach Badier would bug him every single day about me coming out there to play football. I went out there, I trusted him, but I was the punter, so he taught me how to punt. He was my track coach. He taught me how to high jump. But the most important thing with Coach Badier was our relationship. And like I said, I had great parents, but it does take a village to raise a child. When I wasn't with my parents, other people had to be there in those positions to step up. He was one of those people. When I got to college, he always told me what I needed to hear versus what I wanted to hear. He kept it real with me at all times. And as I got to the NFL and into my media career, the first thing every time we talk, he would say to me, "Hey, you taking care of that wife of yours? You taking care of your kids?" Wasn't football talk, wasn't ESPN talk or media talk. Hey, are you taking care of your family first? Because that comes before everything. And I remember the first time I did First Take. It's a funny story. The first time I did First Take, as soon as I got done, Coach Badier called me and just ripped me and let me have it, right? Because it was my first time. Was I nervous? I wasn't nervous, but I didn't know what to expect because it was my first time. But his brutal honesty is something I could respect. Whether it was constructive criticism, I can respect someone being honest with me at all times. And that's another thing I want a lot of mentors and people that a lot of people look up to understand is that don't sugarcoat things with people. Give them the constructive criticism. Now, the delivery is important to how you do it as well, because you don't want to break a young man or a young lady down. But the honesty is important in young kids who are looking up to you as a mentor, because they can respect people. At the end of the day, I promise you, young men and young women can respect someone who is brutally honest with them versus telling them what they want to hear. And then they fail in life because you've been blowing smoke the entire time. Another person, I will go with Paul Petrino, my college coach. I thought I knew mental toughness until I met my college wide receiver coach, Paul Petrino. He taught me mental toughness to another level. He didn't let me be satisfied, right? If I had a good game, so what? Can you have another one? Can you build 2 weeks in a row? He taught me hard work to another level. I was the last person on the depth chart when I went to Louisville, but he worked with me every single day and taught me how to work hard. And then the last person I have is my wide receiver coach when I got to the NFL, Terry Robisky. So at this point, I was used to everybody yelling, screaming, and saying words that you can't say right now. So when I got to Terry Robisky and he wasn't doing that, I was like, well, why are you not yelling at me? He was like, 'cause I don't coach that way. But he just made the game easy for me. And there's times in our meeting room, and this is important too for coaches. There are times in our meeting rooms where we just came in and we had a practice and stuff we had to go over, but we didn't even talk about football. He would ask each and every last one of us, "How you doing today? Is anything bothering you?" And I thought that was so huge, especially for a young kid coming into the NFL, because sometimes you do go through things. You do have challenges in life, and sometimes you do go through great things outside of football that you want to talk about and share with guys that you call your brothers and your friends. So I thought that was great by him. But I've had amazing people in my life, man, an amazing support system. But I do realize not everyone has that. And we have to be able to let our guard down and be a shoulder for other people to lean on. That's truly, I feel like that's my purpose in life, being able to be that ear, being able to help and provide things for other people who might not be able to do them themselves, and be that person. So whenever I can encourage anyone else to be a big or honorary big, or outside of big brothers and big sisters, be someone that somebody can talk to, because you never know who life you may save. That's important. That's real life. Sports is only temporary. This is real life.
Well, Harry, thank you for sharing that, man. Just amazing all the different people who played in life. I love that you started with your parents. because they're the foundation. You can't build a tall building without a strong track coach in high school, Steve Maynard, who didn't look like me. He was the track coach, he was the hall monitor, he was a police officer part-time. He did everything, and he put a lot of kids from my neighborhood in Syracuse, New York, to college through track. I wanted to play basketball. I was like, I would play basketball every day. I would go to the park. We would shovel off the snow in the winter and still play basketball, but I didn't have that talent. I naturally had talent in track. I was a 400 guy, and I was nationally ranked. And, when I was 17, I started getting in trouble and ended up going to jail. But Steve Maynard, he's continued to support me. He brought me my schoolwork when I was in jail. He continued to recruit for me because all my scholarships went away when I got in trouble. And there was one school, Hampton University, who I totally appreciate for them giving me a chance. And he got me a partial track scholarship. He got me out of Syracuse. He got me into that next phase of my life. So you talking about the different coaches who played a role in your life made me think about that. So I appreciate you for sharing that. Yes, I want to talk about Fashion Play, which is coming up May 11th, 6 p.m. over at the Atlanta History Center. Amazing venue. It's our first time using this venue. There are still tickets available on our website. You all can go purchase those. So, we're getting close. What are you looking forward to as it relates to Fashion Play this year?
I would say for me, it's the kids. On top of being able to raise money for these kids to be able to do a lot of things, and for this organization, the kids' excitement. Last year, being able to see a lot of guys and girls, the excitement that they had on their faces when a Roddy White walked through the door, right? A Michael Jenkins, a Michael Turner, a Brian Finneran, and then them seeing Arthur Blank, who's the owner of Atlanta United and the Atlanta Falcons, the head coach Arthur Smith, and the GM Terry Fontenot. These kids being able to see these people support them, I thought it was huge, and the excitement on their faces. Because listen, when kids are born, they're not asked to be in this world. So a lot of things they don't know, but it's our job to teach them and to be able to show them, create an environment to show them that people do care about them and love them is the most important thing to me when it comes to this event.
That would be my same response as the young people. I've been working on behalf of young people my whole entire career, my whole entire adult life. And what I've learned is what's so important for young people, in particular boys, is for them to gain confidence as soon as they can. So those young people getting up there, getting on the runway in front of all these people, just gets them prepared and helps build their confidence. So that's that really stood out to me, is them having the courage and the confidence to get up there and walk the runway and have fun, and to see their smiles. So I definitely agree with you. And you mentioned some of the players, like, you've always brought different players to the table. Like, tell us a little bit about some of the guys you've recruited this year to be a part of Fashion Play.
So the first person we're going to have this year is a guy who participated last year, Roddy White. That's my brother from another mother. I played with him with the Atlanta Falcons. He played 11 years, but I know he cares about the youth. He does a lot of things with his foundation in James Island, South Carolina, where he's from. So whenever I do things, he usually participates and supports. The second person I have is a guy named Algae Crumpler, who played tight end for the Atlanta Falcons, the Tennessee Titans, and the New England Patriots. Algae is a guy who loves to get out in the community as well. And that's one reason why I reached out to Algae, because I know how important it is for him, and he has children. So he can be able to come and walk that runway and see what Fashion Play is all about, and big brothers and big sisters of Atlanta. So I'm excited to have Algae. The third person we have is a guy named Chuck Smith. Chuck Smith played 9 seasons in the NFL, played in the Super Bowl with the Atlanta Falcons. Right now, when you look at the game of football at the NFL level, even guys coming out of college, you look at these great defensive ends that are sacking the quarterback. Well, Chuck Smith trains all those guys. He's training guys right now currently, especially for the draft, and guys like Bud Dupree and Jordan Davis. He's training all these guys because he is a pass rush specialist. So to be able to have Chuck come and support, and Chuck's been a guy that enjoys his community as well. He's been in Atlanta for numerous of years, so to be able to have his support means a lot. And the last person we have is a guy named William Moore. He played safety for us here in Atlanta when I was with the Falcons as well. Willie Moore is another guy who grew up needing the guidance here and there. So he understands what it means to help a young man or a young lady gain that confidence and may need that support or somebody being there for them. He understands that. It's funny because William Moore, we have a guy at our at the University of Louisville where I went to college, and he does a lot of stuff at Louisville, but he used to be at Missouri where Will Moore went to college. And when I was up there last, he was telling me about William Moore and telling me some stories. And it's funny how I've reached back out to Will Moore, and he was like, yeah, man, that's one of the people that saved my life. And him and his best friend that had passed away, he's the reason why those two guys connected when they may have had differences in college. But that one guy, that one mentor, that one guy to be able to reach both of those young men was the centerpiece of those two guys becoming best friends. And I just think it's important, man. So William Moore's going to be another guy. So I'm excited to have him come as well.
And that's an amazing lineup. So we appreciate you continuing to bring great people to be a part of this. It's going to be huge. I'm looking forward to it to myself. I got to figure out when I'm aware. I lost about 10 pounds since last year, so I'm gonna have to get to something, extra slim.
Hey, Kwame, I didn't gain. I gained 5. Oh Lord.
Nah, man, I've been working, man. Listen, you got to work at it. You know what I'm saying? But last question before we wrap up. You all, every time I see you, man, you best dressed, always sharp to a T. What's your favorite fashion accessory?
It's funny. Because I used to not be a fashion guy at all. I used to just be a Jordan shorts and a t-shirt type of guy. But I learned throughout life that's not the way business is conducted. And appearance is everything. And that's something my parents taught me at a young age, because we had Dress for Success once a week in high school where we just used to have to wear suits. So I had to get back into that mindset. I love wearing suits. But if it's one thing I had to pick, Kwame, I am a shoe man. Let's see. You just see the background right now. I have shoes all over this place. To my left, to my right, in another closet. So my wife complains to me a lot how I take up all the closet space with my shoes. Shoes are everything. I may not spend a ton of money on clothes, but I will spend a ton of money on shoes.
Hey, I got you, man. You got to have a foot game, right? And you're right. Perception is reality. I tell young people that all the time. You got to dress a certain way in certain environments, because perception is reality, and it is what it is. And you can use that in your advantage. I've been getting into the suits more and more, and I've been liking these vests, man. I know it's a little old school, but I've been liking how the vests work out. So that's probably what I would pick. But Harry, I want to thank you again, man, not just for Fashion Play, but for all you've done for us at Big Brothers and Big Sisters, for being an honorary big, being an example for young people, and bringing your network to us has really helped us over the years, man. So I look forward to working with you all, just continuing to do more work together to help young people. So again, Fashion Play, May 11th, Atlanta History Center. Go to our website, get your ticket. The event will sell out, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thanks again, Harry. Appreciate you, man.
No, thank you.